Yeah, Snoop has said on several occasions that him and Suge have squashed their beef. I guess
I'll tell y'all a story
they
about
had a
that.
sit down in Vegas, I think he said.
I'll tell y'all a story about that. When Suge was in prison, y'all ask LT Hutton this for everybody that want to jump on there. Suge needed some help while he was in prison. Anybody been to jail that lost their company in a bogus bankruptcy hearing and all of that? You're gonna need some help. Suge was on the phone with LT Hutton, another YouTuber, and I think the conversation was leaked. I don't know. I spoke on it. Where Snoop promised to give Suge $25,000 on this particular call. This is Suge on his books to help his family out, his girl out, while Suge's in prison. Maybe to give some money to a lawyer. It probably was to pay off some witnesses, as we done learned. But whatever. He had promised to give up some money. It went all the way down to $3,000. Ask Snoop or LT, since Suge Knight been in prison, did Snoop put, not LT done looked out, but did Snoop put $1 on Suge books? Do you call that a friend? Me and Suge go back and forth. I done shipped money to him, had money shipped to him while he's been in prison. I had $5,000 shipped to him. I had James do some t-shirts and James shipped some money to him. So much as we talk about him and go back and forth with him, we still looked out. A dude that can make a $25 just to go take a picture with some rich people, he can't do that for Suge. So when Lil Suge and all those people talking about their daddy and them cool, it's cap. All cap. But y'all here. Y'all be here.
I mean, do you think that they still got like real beef, or is it just they're just taking jabs and it's just minor type of things now?
You look out for me, we cool. But to let that man not look out for him anytime he's in prison, this is beef. And
does Snoop owe him to look out for him?
does Snoop owe him? This nigga gave up $4.5 million before he sold one album on Death Row to get him out of prison. Man, you owe me. He owe you all those kids he got and his life he owed Suge Knight. Do you know how many brothers sitting in prison for murder cases and all of that? Him, Malik Lee, Sean Dawg, and Snoop owe Suge their life. Suge didn't have to do that. He didn't have to go to Interscope and use his credibility and his label to get money to be put up for them to fight that case. Snoop made money for him, but y'all don't know the business and y'all gonna learn it. He hadn't sold a record for him yet. He could have just went on and built off of Dre or DOC or whoever else he had at the time. He didn't have to go in and take that chance and that gamble with Suge Knight.
I mean, come on. We all knew Snoop was going to be the next.
Did you have to do it?
He didn't have to do it.
Okay. Well, you asked did he owe, and he did it. The man could do all but sleep with my wife or spit in my face. Anything other than that, I don't care what you do or say about me. If I'm in position to look out, I'm going to look out for you. You saved me from going to prison for a murder case.
Well, Snoop also has some other stuff to say about Death Row. He went on $1 million worth of game, and he claimed that he never got a publishing check.
Snoop. Number one, he got advanced, like I said, $5 million for a case. Snoop got $1 million when he left Death Row on a separation agreement. Snoop had a house in Montclair. He had a penthouse on Wilshire. He had all the cars. He had 2 security every day. He had homeboys that was around him. Ultimate studio time and videos. He had a house in Toluca Lake. He had all of this.
Did he own these houses? Were they in his name, or were they
The
in
house in
Death
Montclair
Row's
still
name?
have. Still have the house in Montclair.
So you're saying, because Snoop said that the first time that he ever had a house in his name was with Master P.
The house in Montclair, he still owned it. His mom and dad was living there the last I heard. Well, we know his mother, a beautiful lady. No longer with us. But I heard his daddy was still staying there. I don't know. But I know at one time they were, at least 3 or 4 years ago. But he still had that house. Everybody knows he still had that house in Montclair. We done seen it. You got interviews out there that said he was taken very well while he was on death row. There's an interview out there where he said he was eating good, better than any artist. There are other artists that tell you how people on death row was living. And very well taken care of. You get them all the time talking about how they used to get $75,000, $100,000 check. Nate Dogg never did a record on death row with $400,000 that he on a legal defense to keep him out of prison. It's all cap. They just, because the check then, and they were getting $50,000 a month monthlies. This is what Snoop was getting back then. And everything was getting paid for. The automobiles, the security, ultimate studio time. And we're talking in 90s. Trust me, when the books was all settled on him and Pop, we settled with them for $3 million. We settled with him for $1 million. These are what their people, their professional advisors are telling them to do. So miss me with that Suge.
So what do you
robbed
think
them.
Snoop's real issue with the situation is? Why would he, come out and say these things?
Well, they say it because that's how they feel, because they never got a royalty statement. My thing is, once you know how you spend money? I done spent money last month that I done forgot about that I spent. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember what you did, but when you go and see it in black and white, then you be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And that's how you get your memory. I always said, death row only problem was it didn't have a royalty department, so everybody could see what they earned and what they spent. But when everybody was with death row, everybody was happy, living better than any of their counterparts. Go ask Coolio, who had a hot song back then, how he was doing. LL Cool J, the Fugees, any of those groups. Ask them what they living like a death row artist were back then. Ask them, staying in penthouses whenever they went on the road, riding around. And Snoop rode around daily with a limo driver and a Rolls Royce Bentley when he was on death row with a driver. When he brought the other cars out, that was for play. He told you on the plane, he had his boy pick him up from the airport on the private jet and was waiting for him with his Bentley. He went one way, Pop went the other way. He tell you that in an interview. Ask any artist that was out during that time, did they live like that? Death row artists were the envy of the rap game. All of them. Well, none of them living like they were.